This is an overview for the lesson in Edgenuity titled, Solving Systems of Linear Equations, Graphing. So just so you know, a linear system of equations is just when you have more than one equation. And the reason we use linear is because all the equations will give you straight lines. So when you have a system, the solution to that system is going to be where the lines intersect, so where they cross each other, because that would be the one point that lies on both of the lines. So I'm just going to do a couple of examples here. The first one says solve the system graphically. So our equations are y equals x plus 1 and y equals 2x minus 2. So I noticed in the Edgenuity videos they did a lot of graphing using intercepts. You can do that if you want to. When it looks like this, I prefer to do slope-intercept form and just plot the y-intercept and then count the boxes for the slope, if you will. So for our first line here, remember m represents slope and b represents the y-intercept. So for our slope, that's always the number that's in front of x. Well, this one there isn't one written, it's just implied. Whenever you have a plain x like that, there's an imaginary 1 in front. So the slope of this line is 1, and then to get the y-intercept, that's the number, the constant, the number that's by itself that has no variable. So positive 1 is our y-intercept. So I'm going to go ahead and take a pause and graph that really quick. So again, slope 1, y-intercept 1. So you always start with your y-intercept. Put it on the y-axis, that's why it's called that. So there's our y-intercept right there. And then again, our slope was 1. And remember, when you do slope, it's rise over run. So we just have a whole number 1. And to make any number a fraction, you can just put a 1 underneath. So this means we're going to go up 1 over 1. So from the y-intercept, from that point you plotted, go up 1 over 1. The more points that you plot, the more accurate your graph will be. So back 1, left 1, back 1, left 1. Make sure if you're doing this by hand, I know a lot of the stuff is on the computer, you need to use graph paper. Okay, so here's our line 1. I'll just put a little 1 next to it so remember. Okay, so then the second line, y equals negative 2x minus 2. So for this one, oh, weird, they're both the same. Okay, so the number in front of x, that's your slope. So our slope is negative 2. And then to help me when I graph it, I'm going to write it as a fraction. So our slope is negative 2 over 1. So our rise is negative 2, so that just means we're going to go down 2 and to the right 1. The y-intercept is the number that's by itself. Make sure you pay attention to the symbol in front of it. So this y-intercept is going to be negative 2. Okay, so we start with our y-intercept at negative 2. So on the y-axis, I'm going to go down 2 and put a point. From there, I'm going to use my slope, which said it was down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. I can also go this way as well. Oh, I already know where our intersection is going to be. Okay, so if I connect all my points, these two lines intersect right here. So that's our solution. Now, the solutions to systems are always ordered pairs because they're always equations of lines. So the way that I would write my answer is the solution here, it just goes to the left one. So that's negative 1, 0, because it didn't go up or down any. Okay, let's do one more. When you have equations like this, sometimes it's better suited to do the graphing by intercepts. So like plug in 0 for y and get an answer, and plug in 0 for x, and then graph them, which they do in the Edgenuity video. Again, if you're somebody who does not like to do that and you want to do slope-intercept form, I'm going to show you how to do that really quick. So to be in slope-intercept form, y has to be by itself. So I'm going to have to subtract x from both sides. So positive y equals, we're subtracting x, so negative minus 2. Okay, so remember, you can always pause the video if you think I'm going too fast. Number in front of x is our slope. Okay, it's just a negative sign, but remember that if there's no number, there's an imaginary 1 there. And the number by itself is our y-intercept, so our y-intercept is negative 2. If we write this as a fraction to help us, the rise over run part, just put a 1 underneath. So we're going to go rise is down 1, run is right 1. So we're going down 1, right 1. Make sure we always start with our y-intercept though. So first I'm going to plot my y-intercept. It's at -2, so we're crossing the y-axis at -2. And from there, we use our slope. So from this point, I'm going to go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. Similarly, the other direction. Okay. Okay, so for our other line, if I want to get x by it, or excuse me, we need to get y by itself so that it's in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. Don't forget this sign. It's attached to the 3y. So it's -3y equals -2x and then -9. And then the last thing we need to do, remember this says -3 times y. So the inverse of that is dividing both sides by -3. And when you're dividing this expression over here, you need to distribute the divide by -3 to both parts. So -2 over -3, 2 negatives make a positive. So 2/3 x, and then -9 divided by -3 is +3. So on this one, our slope is the number in front of x, already in fraction form. So we're going to go up 2 over 3, rise over run. And then the number by itself is our y-intercept. Okay, so first we always graph the y-intercept. From there, we use our slope. From right here, I'm going to go up 2, right 3, up 2, right 3. Similarly, the reason that I can go back, or excuse me, down 2 and back 3 is because a negative and a negative still makes it that positive 2/3 slope. So down 2, back 3. Okay, so if I connect those, we have an intersection point. So the solution to this system of equations is right here. And that ordered pair is going to be 1, 2, 3. So left 3, so -3 and up 1. This also means, which you've seen in the videos, if you plug this back into our original equation, so if you plug in -3 for x and 1 for y, these will both work.